In politics, you're either on message or you are losing. Let's get to it. Welcome to On Message, a weekly look at where the battle lines are drawn and who is winning the war of words. This week, know your audience. The legislative session is now in its second week, and that means we just wrapped up the opening pomp and circumstance. That's everything ranging from the obligatory reading in of all the bills to the opening speeches from the Speaker of the House and the Senate President, culminating with the State of the State address by the governor. Having played a role in writing a few State of the State addresses myself, I find that one particularly interesting, and two sections in particular stood out to me this time around. First, election security. This has been a big topic nationwide since, about January 6th, 2021-ish. Of course, here in Utah, vote by mail has been a huge success, predating the attempt to overthrow the government, and the governor sent one of his strongest messages on the subject.
Utah has been and will continue to be a model of election integrity, period. Unfortunately, some in our country have found that unsubstantiated claims and flat-out lies are an effective way to destabilize our constitutional republic and make it harder for their opponents to participate and vote. Voting security must never be about making it harder for legal voters to vote. Please beware of false choices. As a conservative, I believe that we should always work to make constitutional rights more accessible, not less. I am very proud that voter participation has increased since I became lieutenant governor and now governor. We can have safe and secure elections without making it harder to exercise our constitutional right to vote.
For a governor in a conservative state to stake out what is somehow a moderate position, only in as much as it contradicts the Trump talking points, that's a courageous move, and one that I think speaks to a majority of Utahns. The second standout section was of a similar vein, as Governor Cox went right at conspiracy theorists.
As I've traveled the state, I've heard some feel that the Constitution is in danger. Some argue that the Constitution will someday, if not now, hang by a thread and need rescuing. I worry that what a few of them fail to see is that they, just like those for whom they have so much disdain and contempt, are daily hacking away at those chords, recklessly believing that they will know exactly when to stop slicing and start saving. Tonight, I'm asking every one of us to do our part to start tying those mystic chords of memory back together.
That's another direct shot at the far right wing of his own party. It all fed into the overall theme that in Utah, we can come together to address our challenges and we can do big things. So, what's the lesson? The most important element of any speech is the one that has to be addressed before you write the first word. Define your audience. In other words, know to whom you are speaking and address them directly in a language they not only can understand, but want to hear. It's easy for a governor to forget that the audience for a State of the State address is not actually the people in the room. Legislators know what your policy priorities are before you get there. This is not really a policy speech that's intended to move your priorities through the House and Senate. That all gets done in a dozen different ways over the other 44 days. The State of the State speech is for the non-politicos. It's for the voters. I realize it's not appointment television for the majority of the state, but this is, generally speaking, the biggest stage for the governor all year long. For a larger audience, he gets more than a soundbite, and for the rest, the media coverage will generally focus on what he wants to say and what he deems to be most important. And in that respect, I give Governor Cox high marks. He, of course, also hit on education funding, vowing to pay teachers more. He talked about COVID and thanked our healthcare workers. And as an honorable mention, he told California transplants they're welcome here so long as they leave their progressive politics somewhere over the Nevada desert. But the tone he set was a very Utah balance between conservative policy and moderate tone. Not a bad half hour, especially for government work. That's it for this week. More on Message in the next issue of the Utah Political Underground. Make sure you visit the site and sign up for our weekly email update. You can find more On Message videos in-depth Utah political stories and analysis, plus podcasts and more at utahpoliticalunderground.com.